Hey there, I'm Jennifer Blanchard. I'm an author and writing coach, and today I'm going to talk to you about the number two thing that keeps you from writing. So let's look at this scenario. You have plans to write, it's been on your schedule all week. And the time comes. So, first you show up late to the page, you had other things going on, ended up making your writing session a couple hours later than you thought. When you finally sit down, suddenly you find yourself, on Facebook, checking your email, responding to requests for things that you hadn't even bothered with for months, and all of a sudden they seem so important. And before you realize it, your writing session is over, or maybe you started it but didn't get nearly what you wanted done. The reason for this is the number two thing that stops you: distractions. So it's not that you don't have time to write or even that you don't have what it takes. You just really have a lot of distractions going on, and your mind isn't able to focus long enough to actually let you get writing done. Good news, though, is that overcoming distractions is a really easy thing to fix, especially once you know what the main things are that are taking your attention away from the writing. So here's an exercise that I like to do and I like to teach people to do that will really help you just dive into figuring out, what are the main things that get in your way of doing the writing, and so you can start to address them. So the first thing you want to do is write down everything that distracts you from doing your writing. So I want you to put, a list of whatever you can think of. So anything that gets in the way, household chores, TV shows that you want to watch, just being very busy, being tired from work all day, whatever it is that gets in the way, write it down. Then I want you to take each item and categorize them into one of two sections. So either distractions getting to the page or distractions once you get to the page. So distractions getting to the page are going to be things that keep you from actually sitting down and writing. Distractions once you get to the page are going to be things that distract you when you're actually sitting down at your computer, trying to do writing, but then there's things that get in the way. So once you have your two sets of categories, it's time to make a plan for how you can reduce or remove as many of these distractions as possible. So here are some examples of how to reduce or remove some distractions. So if you're addressing distractions getting to the page, things that are getting in the way of you sitting down and actually doing your writing. So here are some ideas for what you can do. So you could reduce your social events. You could have a two times a week maximum outing thing so that the other time is saved for your writing. You could hire someone to help you a couple times a week, if you need your house cleaned, if you need somebody to watch the kids, to walk the dog, whatever it is. Anything you can do to free some writing time for yourself. Get buy-in from your family, so maybe you just need to really explain to them how important this writing thing is to you, and get them to see that they need to support you in making this happen and how they can do that. Clear space in your schedule. So it's impossible to get yourself to sit down and write if you don't have the space in your schedule to do it. So figure out a time, at the beginning of every week, when is the best time for you to get some writing done. Just make it more convenient. So, write on your lunch break, make notes on Evernote throughout the day, put your laptop in a place that you're going to see it, and automatically it's going to make you think, oh, I need to sit down and write. Set up a reward system. So, set up a system where, if I sit down for 30 minutes and write, I'm going to get XYZ reward. So whether that's, I'm going to get to take a 30-minute break and watch my favorite TV show, or I'm going to get to go, take a walk, or whatever it is that makes you feel rewarded for doing the work. And also build writing into your routine. So if you're used to writing being part of your daily life, it's going to be a lot easier to get to the page and to avoid the distractions that stop you from getting there. So if you're addressing distractions once you're at the page, here are some things you can do. So the number one thing I would recommend is installing an internet or website blocking software. This is a lifesaver when it comes to getting work done, because you're able to block either the entire internet or just specific websites that distract you. So for my software that I use, I basically block Facebook. I block my emails. So I block Gmail. I block any social media site where I think I could distract myself. And anything that I find, if I'm trying to work on something and automatically I just like switch and try to do something else, I stop, and whatever website I was on, I block that one too. So that way I can't ever go back to it while I'm working. Another thing you can do is create a private oasis where you can write. So a lot of times it's easy to get distracted when you don't have an actual writing space. So if you're trying to get writing done in front of the TV, at the kitchen table when your kids are running around, the dog's barking, like it's going to be impossible to get the writing done. So if you have a space that's just yours, that's, private, that's quiet, that you can just do your writing, whether that's a space at home, maybe it's uh, just a desk in the back room that you don't use, or maybe it's, under the stairs in a closet, whatever it is, or maybe it's, leaving the house, because that could be the easiest way for you to get writing done. Use headphones. So a lot of times we get distracted because of all the noise around us. So if you have headphones, you could be listening to some music. You could be listening to, something that doesn't have words, some classical music, or just, background white noise, something to just keep you from getting distracted by everything going on around you. Set a timer. So the Pomodoro technique, you could look that up. But basically what I like to do is set a timer for 20 minutes. 20 minutes is an easy thing to do. You could do it in between, while you're cooking dinner or something. Set your timer, sit down and write for 20 minutes. When the timer goes off, you can get up, you can go do whatever you need to do, and either come back or, your session could be done for the day. Clear your space. So the less stuff you have on your desk, the less distractions you're going to have. So you want to make sure that you're clearing a space, for you to get the writing done, and to not have a million, post-it notes everywhere telling you 10 other things you need to do. So journal. You could journal for 10 to 15 minutes before you start writing. And this is a really good way to clear your mind of distractions, because journaling, you get the crap out onto the page and then it's not distracting you any longer. So you can make a list of, things you have to do, or things that are pissing you off at the moment, or whatever it is that's keeping you from being able to do the writing. Maybe you're just freaked out about something or not sure you can do it. So, write about that. And then the other thing you could do is design a startup ritual or routine. So basically, a series of things you would do leading up to sitting down to do the writing. So maybe for me, that could be, I like to put on some music. I like to, make sure I've checked my email, checked my Facebook. I usually give myself 10 to 15 minutes to do that before I get started writing. And that way it's done already, and I don't have to worry about, what's happening on Facebook or who's sending me an email. So figure out things you can do to lead up to the getting the writing done while you're at the page. So when you address your distractions head on, you can remove them, or at least reduce them enough so that you're able to get your writing done. And then nothing can stop you. Except for maybe one other thing, which is probably getting in the way of you writing your novel. We'll tackle that next. Just to remind you, the Idea to Draft Story Intensive can help you overcome distractions and finally sit down to turn your story idea into a novel. You can learn more about it by visiting tinyurl.com/idea-to-draft and download a program guide that will give you all the information you need to know to make a decision about whether this is a good program for you or not. If you're ready to sign up, you can visit jenniferblanchard.net/idea-to-draft.